Alright, welcome to another speed reviews video. So this is where I go through a bunch of the products I've been testing that might not make it into other videos or empties, and just give you my thoughts on them. A lot of these are new releases, so I like to give you these kind of quick form, like halfway point reviews where I've already been testing them. I know my thoughts. So leave some of my past speed reviews down below. By the way, I tried to get more of a picturesque background for you guys today, but the light is just out of control. The sun is beaming in here today, so this is where we landed on. But if you enjoy speed reviews and find this video helpful while you're watching, you can give it a thumbs up. We've got a ton of products to talk about today, so let's get into it and get going. All right, let's start out with a very popular product right now. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear Powder. I have the shade 130 True Beige, which actually is a pretty good shade match for me. I wasn't sure looking at it, a tiny bit on the dark side, but the undertone is perfect. It's very like neutral. So this is a powder foundation. It says full coverage, matte, waterproof. Haven't tested the waterproof claim yet, but I don't feel like this is quite full coverage on its own for me. Like if you have scarring or acne or whatever, I don't think this is gonna look total full coverage on you. As far as full coverage powders, the JCat Beauty Powder Foundation definitely has more coverage than this. And the It Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination, both of those have more coverage than this powder. I would say this one is high medium coverage, but it really depends on how you apply it when we're talking on its own right now. So with a brush, this is definitely for me closer to about medium coverage, but I can get more coverage out of it if you use the applicator down here that it comes with and just kind of like pat it on. That's my favorite way to apply it if I'm using it on its own. However, if you have drier skin, this one does cling to dry patches. So for that reason, I don't like this one all over my face for me, but I do really like it to use how I use a lot of powder foundations or powders in general, which is just right here on my cheeks, so I can add a little bit of coverage there and also blend powder on top, and then also on my forehead. And this one actually looks really nice and smooth and doesn't look powdery around my pores. So I do like using this one around my pores as well. So overall, I like this powder foundation just using to kind of like set my face in certain areas. I don't like it all over for my skin personally, but I could see how if you have normal to oily skin, you might like this one all over because it does have a really nice soft matte finish to it. It doesn't look too powdery, especially if you set your face with a setting spray. Next up, we have the e.l.f. Mint Melt Cooling Face Primer. So to me, this is a pretty close dupe for the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Primer, except this one smells so much better than that. I friggin' hate the smell of the Milk Makeup one. This one has just kind of like a bit of like a menthol kind of scent, but it's not too overpowering. It doesn't smell chemically at all, but this definitely is a gripping primer. So when you put it on, it's very tacky like the Hydro Grip. It has pretty much the exact same feel to it, except I do prefer this one. It has a little bit of a cooling sensation, which I also really like, but overall, I just feel like this one kind of blends out a little bit easier. Like you have time to work it into your skin, even though it's super tacky, and then it sets down. And I do feel like with the foundations that I've tried over top of this so far, they go on beautifully. They just lay really smoothly on top of this, but it is gripping. It's always a little bit difficult to test primers and setting sprays and know exactly what's doing what as far as making your makeup stay on longer, but I do feel like this one helps a bit in that area. I'm wearing this one today underneath my foundation. The foundation I'm wearing is the new Catrice drugstore foundation. I'll link it down below. But I've tried that foundation without primer, with other primers, and on top of this primer, and this one I just feel like made it go on super flawlessly. So I'm really into this primer, and I do like these kind of primers for more dry skin because it sounds weird, but if you have any kind of like flakiness, this almost just glues it down to your face and like presses it in. So when you apply foundation on top, there's not as much to grip to because of the finish that this creates. So this one was a total win for me. All right, so Auric, which is Samantha Ravindal's brand, launched literally right before I took my little YouTube break. So I didn't have a chance to talk about these, but I have been testing the Auric products for a while now, so I definitely have my thoughts on them. So let's start off with their cream and powder eyeshadow duos. First off, love the packaging of these. It's frosted glass on the bottom, which unscrews, and that's where you have the cream product. This one's in the shade Temper. And then on the top, you have the super pretty logo, and then it flips up, and that's where you have the eyeshadow. So right now on my eyes, I have Defiance, and then here's the eyeshadow. Obviously mine's looking a little ratchet. Unfortunately, I dropped mine, and that happened. So I've found that these definitely apply best with your finger. If you're going in with a brush, it almost like doles it out for some reason, but no primer, and your fingers are the way to go with the cream shadows. I find that if I put these on top of like MAC paint pot, which I usually use, or concealer, it dulls it out. When I use this with no primer on, it looks much more metallic. And then the eyeshadow on top, here's another shade, this one is Ego. These are super pretty if you, again, use your finger and they need some kind of cream base to stick to. So obviously it's, you know, made to go with the one underneath, or you can mix and match with the other shades, but it does need some kind of sticky base. They are beautiful and you can really layer them on and get more of a reflect, but they need a cream base or something tacky underneath. So when I've tried to apply the eyeshadows as like a topper on top of other powder eyeshadows, they don't look nearly as metallic. And I think my favorite shade is Defiance, which is what I have on right now because it is a little bit unique. It almost gives that MAC blue-brown kind of vibe. By the way, I've been testing a ton of foundations. That will be its own separate Foundation Friday video, but that's why I'm not including any foundations in here, but I've been testing a crap ton of foundations. But something that I didn't love is the Porefessional Long Lasting Setting Spray Super Setter by Benefit. So this is their new setting spray. So this one is fine. I don't think it's a bad product or anything, but it did break me out. And I found with this one, it didn't do a whole lot for the finish of my foundation. Like that's how I like to use setting sprays mainly, is to really just smooth everything over at the end. And it's not just that it didn't alter the finish in the sense that like it made it dewy or satin or whatever. It's just that when I put this on, I didn't feel like the powders really melted in with the liquid, or that it, you know, helped out with texture or anything, which is what a lot of setting sprays can do for me. So for that reason, I feel like this one is a pass, but it does have a really nice fine mist on it. It's really similar to the Hourglass Vanish in that way, the way it sprays out. All right, I am so excited to talk about this because I am friggin' blown away by this product. I had never heard of these, but lamellar waters, I think that's how you pronounce it, are an amazing thing that I did not know existed. Apparently, I think Redken and a couple other high-end brands came out with ones, and then L'Oreal came out with a drugstore option. But basically over time, and I mean, you can feel it pretty instantly, actually helps to repair your hair with amino acids and I believe protein as well. But this thing is called the L'Oreal 8-Second Wonder Water. And basically what you do is after you shampoo your hair, you just put this all over, and it tells you exactly how much to use on the back of this bottle, but you put it all over your hair and you wait 8 seconds, and then this thing detangles your hair. Like it literally feels like you just brush through your hair, and it makes it so soft to the point where it almost feels like you have already conditioned your hair. It's pretty insane. I did a TikTok on it when I tried it for the first time. It doesn't say on the back of here how often to use it. Just a heads up, because of the protein in this, you don't want to overuse it, or it can make your hair kind of like that gummy feeling. So I don't know exactly how often you're supposed to use this. I only wash my hair usually about once a week anyways, but I'm just going to use it like every other week to be safe, and it works really well for me personally. But after trying this one, which is the one for long hair, the Dream Lengths version, I picked up the original, which this one has amazing reviews. It's been out for longer. I haven't tried this one yet, but I'm guessing it's probably the same thing. I just wanted to pick up this one since I knew I love this. So I've been testing this palette for a while now. I want to say close to about 3 months. This is the Master Mattes eyeshadow palette by Makeup by Mario. I picked this up because I love a good small matte everyday kind of palette, and I love that it had this light kind of cream shade in here. I'm wearing a couple of the shades right now. I have this one on in my crease, and then I have a couple of the other browns just on my lower lash line. But I do find myself wanting to reach for this palette a lot. I think just because of the colors. I like the formula of these. They're not my absolute favorite matte formula. Like I'm not falling out of my seat over the formula of these, but they're totally good. You do definitely have to use a primer with these. The MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot works great with this for me. I wish the black was better. It's not the most blackest black, and for an all matte palette like this, I feel like having good black is such a way to make a palette like even more of a win, especially if all you're doing is basic matte shades like this. So I wish the black was a little better, but I do like the other shades, and overall I find myself wanting to reach for this because it's small, it's compact, and just has everyday good basic colors. All right, I've had some requests from you guys to talk about the difference between the Auric Glow Lust, the Saie, I think that's how you say this brand, Glowy Super Gel in Star Glow. I have a little sample size from Sephora, and then the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter. So I'm gonna kind of compare these quickly and tell you which one I like best or which one I like for different kinds of things. So out of all of these, I would say if you're going for just that very, very natural kind of glow that you can use on its own or underneath makeup, and that almost gives you a little bit of like the glass skin look. It doesn't have any kind of glitter or anything in it. I would say go with the Saie one. This one is the most natural looking on the skin. It's almost like undetectable. It just looks like you have super pretty glowing skin. So if I'm not wearing any other makeup, or if I want to use something underneath my foundation on my forehead, I'll go in with this one, because out of all these, this is the most undetectable on the skin. So if you have like textured skin, or if you want to put something on your forehead, just add a bit of a glow, I feel like this one works the best for that. All of these you can kind of use however you want. You could use it underneath makeup, on top of makeup, mix in with foundation, or use as highlighter. You're just gonna get different looks with all of these, so I just wanna kinda break it down for you in case you've been debating and not sure which one you might wanna pick up. So next up, let's do the Auric Glow Lust. So I have the shade Morganite, which is the lightest shade. Packaging of these are friggin' beautiful. Sam sent me these in PR, by the way. And when I first opened that box, I stared at these products and just like felt them for a solid couple minutes. They just feel like such nice quality. So this one comes in a big bottle because she said it was intended to be used however you want, like mixed in, used all over the face, or as a highlighter, so they wanted to give a lot of product. Out of all of these, this one does have the thickest formula. Like these ones have a little bit of a lighter, smoother consistency, not like super thick or too thick. I'm just trying to compare them all for you. Auric definitely has the most glow out of all these, so I like using this one the best as a face highlight, like after foundation. It's what I have on my face right now, and I'll include some clips that I took right in front of the window, like in natural lighting. I mean, I'm in natural lighting right now, but it was right in front of the window and then also in the sunlight, so you can see what it looks like. But this one is super pretty as a face highlight, and that's how I like to use this one. Personally, on textured skin, like on my skin, I didn't love the way this one looked mixed in with other foundations. I do like it underneath foundation if I'm applying it on my cheekbones, but not on my forehead. So I just feel like there are like specific uses with this one, but I do love it as a face highlight, like a liquid highlighter over my foundation. Has a super pretty glow used in that way. And then the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter I mentioned in my March Raves and Rejects. I friggin' love this product, either used as a highlight or underneath, all over your face, especially all over your face if you're gonna be putting a more matte foundation on top. It just gives like the most beautiful sheen underneath. Flawless Filter, I would say, is in between these two products kind of in every way, as far as the formula, like the consistency of it, and also how much glow it gives. It's kind of in between these two, so it's not as intense of a glow as the Auric, but it's not as subtle as the Saie one. And they do have a shade 1. I accidentally picked up the shade 2. This is the shade 3. So I need to get the lightest shade 1 because this one I reach for a ton. So this is kind of in between these two. So I picked up this liner by L'Oreal because of Jessica Braun. This is like her favorite Waterline eyeliner and just eyeliner overall from the drugstore. It's the Liner Signature. Jessica's right. This liner is bomb. It's super black. I've been using it actually to tightline, and I'm like, why have I never tightlined before? I usually don't tightline, and it makes such a difference. The only thing is, on my eyes, I do have more kind of watery eyes, and when I put this in close to the inner corner, if I'm tightlining, and my eyes start watering, it does bleed down to the bottom. But if I just keep it out here, or if I'm using it like on my lower lash line waterline or on top of my eyes, it doesn't do that. So I really love this liner. I feel like if you need a good drugstore black eyeliner, definitely check this one out. And it is retractable. We all love a good retractable liner. I can't anymore with hand sharpening liners, you know? Why can't we just make everything retractable? I don't understand. I've been testing a few different glosses. I love a good light pink kind of gloss. So the first one's the Tower 28 in the shade Oat. This one's definitely more of like a peachy kind of color, as you can see. I've heard a lot of people rave about the formula of this, so I wanted to try it out. And I do like the way it initially goes on. Like, it does just make your lips look very soft looking. However, I find that this fades so extremely fast. Like, it doesn't look glossy literally after a couple minutes of wearing it. It almost like absorbs into your lips. I feel like it almost just looks like I'm wearing a chapstick at that point. It is really a nice, thin, kind of soft formula, but because it doesn't last at all and just kind of absorbs in, I think you could pass on this. So on my lips right now, I'm wearing the Essence Juicy Bomb Shiny Lip Gloss in the shade Pink Lemonade. And this has a really similar formula to that. Like, it still feels not sticky at all. It's very smooth feeling and lightweight, but it does give much more of like a glossy kind of look. So I think you could skip the high end and just get this one from Essence for a couple bucks. And I have it on over top of these two products right now. I'm wearing the Revlon Color Stay Satin Ink. in the shade 1, Your Go-To, and then I layered on a little bit of the NYX High Voltage lipstick in the shade 21 to lighten it a little bit, and then I have on the Juicy Bomb over top. But I don't find that the scent is overpowering either. I was afraid it was gonna smell like too candy-y. Scent doesn't bother me at all, especially once it's on your lips, you don't even notice it. And I just think this is really pretty, like light pinky kind of gloss. And then the last gloss is the Lunar Beauty lip gloss in the shade Moon. And this one also feels pretty similar. It's not sticky at all, really lightweight. I do like this one, and I do like the color of this one. Out of all of them, this one's the most neutral nude kind of gloss. It's not extremely pigmented. It won't totally lighten up your lips if you're trying to, you know, put this on top of something else that's darker. If you already have on like a nude lipstick, this is really pretty over top. And the Lunar Beauty smells like straight up cake, which I'm never opposed to some cake. Product that I was not a fan of at all, this is a new drugstore launch from Wet n Wild. It's their Brow Obsessive Brow Shaping Gel. I have the shade Brown. This is interesting. Almost nothing shows up when you put this on, and you can see when I'm going like this, like barely any product is actually on here. So I don't know if it's kind of a packaging flaw where it's just not getting picked up on the brush, or if the actual formula is just too like dry and moussey. It has a very light moussey kind of formula, but I literally can like not really see anything when it goes on my brows. I haven't eaten breakfast yet today, and my stomach feels like it's about to crawl out of my body and go get breakfast on its own. So I believe this is a new primer by Jouer. This is their anti-aging moisture primer. It says hydrating antioxidant treatment, silicone free. And I really like the way this one feels. It feels almost like a serum kind of primer. It's very lightweight, and it does add a glow. If you have dry skin, I think you would like this. It's also fragrance free, and it says it has peptides, hyaluronic acid, argan oil, shea butter, and vitamin E. Okay, I've been testing so many friggin' mascaras lately. There are a couple that I like, and then the majority of them I don't like, so I'm just gonna power through them. So the LA Girl Jet Setter Mascara and the Revlon So Fierce Big Bad Lash, I just didn't like because I didn't find that they did anything kind of special for my lashes, didn't give me a lot of volume, just really didn't work with my lashes. The Revlon one has a pretty big wand, which I don't mind. A lot of mascaras that I really like have bigger wands, but this is the big boy. And then here's the wand on the LA Girl Jet Setter. This one like really did nothing for me. I was really excited to try the new Revlon Volumizing mascara because the applicator on the outside of the packaging looked like it was gonna be one that I would really like. The wand is similar to the Revlon one, but a little bit smaller. Again, this one gave me virtually no volume. I also tried layering it, and it's a pretty dry formula as well. I just was expecting a lot more volume, and unfortunately this one did not give me that. Lancome Lash Idol is, I believe, one of their newer mascaras as well. This one has a curved rubber bristle wand. So it looks like that. And I did not like this one, like it wasn't horrible, and did give me a little bit of volume and length, but just for a high-end mascara, for me, this one isn't one that I'm gonna reach for. I have others that I like a lot more and that give me those kind of lashes that I look for. I like a lot of volume in my lashes. Maybelline Sky High. So this thing went friggin' viral on TikTok. I did a full day wear test on this mascara in the Good Apple foundation video. So if you wanna see what this looks like throughout the entire day and on my lashes, you can check out that video. This thing doesn't come off your lashes. It's literally glued on there. I do have the waterproof version, but you guys also let me know that the normal version was also really difficult to get off. But besides that, I just thought this was a very average mascara. It did add some length, but it didn't separate enough. Here's what the wand looks like, but personally, what I really don't like is that this is one of those mascaras that has a super bendy wand, which some people like. I find it to be really difficult to work with because it's just bending all over the place as you're trying to like really get in there. And I just don't enjoy putting on this mascara. Like, you have to really work with it. So for me, this one was a bit overhyped. Don't love it, but I know some people do. And mascaras are one of those things that are just like total personal preference. And then out of all the mascaras I'm trying, these are kind of my top two, but I don't love them for different reasons. The one I'm wearing right now is the Benefit They're Real Magnet Mascara. This one I had to kind of play around with a few times before I could figure out how I really liked to apply it. To get my lashes right now, I used 3 coats of this, and I do like this one, but I feel like I have to be having a good lash day for this one to look good. It has super short rubber bristles, so it's not typically what I go for. My I probably won't be reaching for it a whole ton is because when you take it off, it's one of those mascaras that is like never ending black just coming off. Like you can't just go in and, you know, wipe it off and then be done. It's like you got to go in a few times to get it off. It's not that it sticks to your lashes like the Maybelline. It's just, I don't know, it's just black everywhere, man. And then this one's the number 7 Full 360 Ultra. So this has a very large wand, like it's almost a little bit too big, and it does have that kind of curve shape, which I normally like. It's like the Too Faced Better Than Sex kind of wand. Here's what it looks like. It's pretty large. My lashes look good with this one. Again, it's not my favorite out of all the mascaras I have, but out of the ones I've been testing, these are my top 2. However, I find that it's just a little bit too big. Like I usually get mascara on other parts of my eye when I'm applying this, and it makes it a little bit hard to get your outer lashes because of how big this is. All right, we're coming down to the last couple products here. I love the NYX Shine Loud Gold Crusher lipstick, not specifically the shade Gold Crusher. I do want to order more shades of these because the formula is friggin' insane. This is a transfer proof, super pigmented, glossy lipstick, which transfer proof and glossy usually don't go hand in hand, but basically you put on the color first, and then on the other side you have a shiny top coat that kind of seals it in. And I've worn this with other shades of lipstick over top of this one to kind of lighten it, since I don't absolutely love the shade of this. And even when I do that, like put on another lipstick and then put the sealant product over top, it still makes it pretty friggin' transfer proof, even with another lipstick on top that's not transfer proof. And the last product is this, insert name here, Quick Slick Hair Essence. So basically you brush this on your roots or wherever you have frizz, and it's supposed to tame the frizz. I was kind of confused when I first saw this by the choice of applicator that they used, because it's this kind of weird like curved shape, which I don't know if the idea is that it's supposed to like go against the curve of your head, maybe, but I don't know, it just feels a little bit weird for a hair product. But anyways, you brush this on top. I'm wearing it right now, and it's supposed to kind of tame some of the flyaways. I can't even see myself in the viewfinder right now, but normally I have a ton of flyaways happening, and I do like this. It doesn't leave like a super crispy kind of feeling either. I was kind of thinking it would kind of just like glue it all down, but it doesn't feel like to where you would have to wash your hair that night. So let's do up here maybe. It's hard with curly hair because you don't want to like, you know, brush out the curl as you're doing this. But I do feel like this does a little something, and I'm going to continue to use this because I normally have issues with flyaways going everywhere, and this doesn't like, you know, fully take it away, but it definitely helps with some of them. That was a lot of speed reviews, but I'll leave everything I talked about linked down below in the description box. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, you can give it a thumbs up. And again, I'll have my other speed reviews videos linked down below. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.